What's up, guys? We're here with DPtheGroundHogg, man. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, you know, I'm from South Minneapolis. I've been doing the music shit for a while and working on a couple of different projects and stuff, man. Real melodic type of music and stuff, and really music more so, I say, for the common man, really. I actually started doing music in high school. I was just writing and doing all that. And I ended up going to IPR. And one of my buddies, you know, he was telling me, you should just make a mixtape or something like that. And I was like, oh, I don't know. You know, I didn't think, you know, I was that good at that time or whatever. But he was like, man, just go ahead and do that shit. You know, and so I used to go to the studio with them. And he used to just tell me, you know, just keep working. Just keep working. And I'd play a song, he'd be like, oh, no, that shit whack. And then sometimes he'd be like, okay, it's getting better and all that. So, you know, I just started kind of just doing songs and all of that. And after a while, you know, I just started recording, you know.
What's next for you, man?
Well, Welcome to the Woodz Volume 2 is coming out. I'm doing a video called Sundown Suburbs. I got a couple videos out right now, you know, but Sundown Suburbs is going to be, that's pretty much the one that I'm focusing on right now, and releasing Welcome to the Woodz Volume 2 in, I say a couple months. So.
How'd you get the title Sundown Suburbs?
Sundown Suburbs is one of them things where, excuse me, working in the IT field and kind of looking at the perspective of being black in the corporate world, and kind of just having a lot of different situations where I was at work or talking to friends and seeing how they were treated in corporate and stuff like that, where we were isolated. It wasn't a lot of black people in there. And, you know, sometimes you deal with a lot of racist shit. People don't want to talk about it, but you deal with a lot of, you know, racist shit, comments, insults that, you know, corporate America don't really want to admit. And so I was thinking, it kind of reminds me like a sundown town, like you isolated, you know. So, and then I thought about, let's say if I was a guy that never really hung around black people that much and really didn't know that many black people or whatever, what is his perspective? So that's how I kind of wrote the song around that. So, yeah.
So what's your writing process with Sundown Suburb?
Man, I think I was just jotting a lot of shit down. I think I was at work, man, one time, you know, some years back, and I was just thinking about how somebody was kind of talking crazy, you know, and I'm just thinking like, you know, just little situations, you know.
Talking crazy?
Somebody might have made a comment. They might have made an insult or tried to insult, you know, just a passive aggressive statement. Minnesota is extremely passive aggressive. You don't know what the fuck people mean. They don't mean what they say. So he might have made a comment about somebody black and wanted to get a rise out of me or whatever the case may be, which he wasn't going to get. And, you know, some people who might have been at work or whatever, been in a situation where they felt like, oh, well, I just got to be silent. You know, I don't have to, you know, I may disagree just to disagree for the situation. And I said, no, you know, I'm not just going to agree with you just because, you know, you have some corporate authority or whatever like that. I don't agree with you, and I don't feel comfortable about what you said, you know. And a lot of times you be in these situations where, you know, a lot of times when you black in corporate, you have to act a certain way. And I said, I ain't taking the fucking bass out of my voice. I'm just not going to do it. Because you know I don't talk like this when I go home. So, you know, ain't no sense in me trying to act like I'm someone else. You ain't going to treat me no different. So that's where it kind of came from. You know, I started just writing about all of that. And I just started writing about some of the things that's going on right now, you know. So
what do you think about the current events? I know you're speaking on being black in America. What's your thoughts on the current events on that situation?
It's not much different than before. We just got cameras. You know, do you mean in terms of what's going on with the police, or what's, you know?
We can start with the police. What police? What do you think is going on with that?
Well, you know, a lot of them is modern day slave catchers. You know, the ones that are doing brutal shit. I'm talking about the ones that are brutal. Criminal police I'm talking about. Ones that, you know, because you're supposed to uphold the law. That's what you get paid to do. You're not supposed to be beating people up and taking out your own personal indifferences on somebody you don't like. But they hired you for that position. There's some districts and departments where they actually have managers and lieutenants and stuff like that they run that shit like a damn plantation, like a straight overseer. That's how they do it. They just had an incident the other day where they pulled over a Caucasian woman and said, "Oh, well, no, we just don't be scared. We just shoot black people," right? You can't make a joke about that. So we just have cameras now, and even with cameras, it's not really too much justice. So, you know, they don't want to indict nobody, and when they do, they always try to figure out a different way to, you know, get them off or whatever. So, you know.
What do you think we should do about that to make things better?
I don't know, man. Coming from a black person standpoint,
we'll start with the black person standpoint, and then after that, we'll go to the white person.
As far as black folks, we gonna have to practice some type of group economics, and we just gonna have to admit that it's an issue. You got a lot of black folks that'll be like, "Oh, it's not an issue," you know, whatever the case may be. It's not an issue because they may be part of the power structure, you know. As far as white folks, speak out. You know, there's a lot of issues in, well, I was going to say community, but the black population, where there's a lot of stuff that we could solve ourselves that we don't, you know, and we expect someone else to do it. And that's not going to happen.
Well, if you look at the Black Lives Matter movement, most of them, a lot of us don't want to admit, are white people. Those are white people holding up traffic. Mainly. 90%
for the most part. And you got to think about that. Like, no disrespect to the NAACP who founded that. You see? Shout out to George Soros, man. That whole thing, and see, that's social engineering. Let's protest, and then we have the same issue. We get some black leaders. I ain't gonna say no names, but we get some black leaders that'll step up and say, well, be calm, relax, everybody be peaceful. Well, if something happens to someone else in a country, they may not be necessarily so peaceful. You see what I'm saying? But niggas got to be peaceful. We got to be passive. We got to hold our heads down like turtles and, you know, run around looking like Master Splinter and shit, you know, and basically just take it and be peaceful, and then just take the payout, and then you don't hear about these situations anymore. You know, those officers still on the force, if not indicted. You know, with the Freddie Gray shit, I ain't really heard nothing about Miss Bland. Alpha right down in Texas, they try to say some niggas sold him some heroin or some shit, you know, but yet they found him with his tongue cut. You know, you see what I'm saying? Like, it's over and over and over and over and over. It's all the time, you know. And I think what happens is you have billionaires that manufacture and social engineering at its finest these groups to make it look like it's justice. And in the time being justice, you always have a farce. You always have a mirage to make it look like, you know. That's why they always say, that's why when you always have people, you know, that'll say, oh, well, you shouldn't have no all black group, or you shouldn't have, you know, an all black college. It is the reason why you have that shit is because of discrimination, economic, spiritual, financial castration. That's the reason why you have these groups and stuff like that, because people were being mistreated, not able to buy property over here, not to get a federal loan over there. That's the reason why you had that shit. So then they had these groups, they come in and they basically say, all right, niggas, be quiet, relax, don't be violent. We could come shoot up your churches, take this motherfucker over here to Burger King, buy him a meal, and and say it's not domestic terrorism. So, you know.
So what's your thoughts on Donald Trump? Kind of a change of subject, a little, not change of subject, but
yeah,
kind of a change of area. What's your thoughts on Donald Trump and what's going on now? How is he handled?
Trump's doing exactly what he's supposed to do.
What's that?
He's a businessman in control. He's using the middle class to lower class, primarily white, likely conservative, presumably racist class of white people to help push his agenda. The alt-rights, the Klan people, all that. And he's not going to help them at the end of the day. He did exactly what he was going to do for himself. Connect with all of these countries, make a bunch of deals, pipeline deals, whatever, you know, deal fucking with the Russians, whatever. You know, the whole Trump thing, it's unfortunate. It's fucked up, but it would have been the same thing with I call it crooked Hillary. That's the whole Clinton administration. You locked up over 100,000 black men. Black folks really, really want to act like this shit ain't happened. That the whole war on drugs thing, they think that it was a Republican thing. And it was Democrats doing this shit. It was Democrats, so-called liberal Democrats. They were the ones that pushed that whole war on drugs type of thing, 1993, 94 or whatever. So, you know, with Trump, I don't know. I mean, he really don't know what he's doing. You know, he's just a rich New Yorker that ran on a Republican card. He told them before, if I were ever to go, I would run on a Republican card because they the dumbest bunch of voters ever. So there's people that look what he's doing to Puerto Rico.
What is he doing?
He's basically saying in so many words, you know, see, y'all are brown people, I ain't fucking with you. You know, they giving him the nigger treatment.
Did he say that?
Well, he basically went and said some shit like, well, you're in debt. Like, how you gonna go to a country in a global crisis and say, well, Katrina was much worse. It's thousands of people suffering down there. You know, so, but you know, I think with him, I think what's going to eventually happen is he's just going to get indicted. He'll get quit, and it's going to be Pence. That's who I'm afraid of.
So you're more afraid of
Pence
than Donald Trump.
He's quiet. He's cunning. He don't say shit. Those are the most dangerous people in the world. They don't run their mouth. They ain't got much to say. You're dealing with a dangerous person that ain't got a lot to say.
What do you think about Mark Cuban running for president? Since we're on political.
Cuban. Who's Mark Cuban?
Mark Cuban's the Dallas Mavericks owner. He was thinking about running for president. He actually votes Republican, but he had some disagreements with Donald Trump. So, and he's got a lot of money as well. So he's also a businessman.
Let him run. Niggas still gonna get killed, shot down in the street. See, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, regardless of whoever's in office, I'm coming from my perspective as you know, a black person in America. It's always gonna be, you know, it's that same shit. I don't know much about the guy. You know, when you said Cuban, I thought it was like a designer or something. I thought of like Echo or some shit. Ain't there like a dude named? I don't know, man. Did he make the comments about, you know, the prisoners running? You know, that was somebody else.
That was the Houston Texans owner.
Oh, Houston, Texas. Yeah, see, I'd walk off the stage. That's what niggas should do. Fuck this shit. We just gonna chill for a month. And then the niggas that they really ain't got no money. That's why I ain't got no issue with who stands or who sits. I don't care. You know, the ones that stand, they might be able to help the ones that sit.
You would walk off the stage?
I just walk off. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, if you really want to make a, you know, you kneel, okay, shit. We've been kneeling and praying for how long? Okay, what if you just walk off for like a whole month? Fuck up the whole economy.
You won't get paid.
Yeah, but they won't get paid. And the airlines won't get paid. And Budweiser won't get paid. And everybody, you know, just for a little bit, cripple the economy, do like the Montgomery bus, the boycott, that, you know, or walk off and create our own shit. But we so institutionalized that we don't want to, you know, we don't want to do that. Our issue is practicing group economics with ourselves. Yeah, they might do some Tulsa, Oklahoma and knock our shit back down. But what I'm saying is at least try to do that, you know, so
Who do you think are the powerful leaders to get that started?
Who would be a great leader?
Yeah, because we're going to need a lot of currency to get our own economics started. Who do you think would be some of the powerful leaders, in your opinion, that would get something like that started?
I don't know. It'd be ourselves, man. We all be leaders. I think, you know, you got to have some type of leader to direct the people outside of just who got the money. Because, you know, black people, we spend a lot of money. You know, everybody spends a lot of money. You know, but if I were to put a board of directors up there, put Umar up there, put Banner up there, put Dr. Claude Anderson up there, put Nakima Levy Pounds up there, put all the people that, you know, the people want or whatever, you know, put some people that are pretty much like economic evangelists up there that really understand how to move and shake things. You know, don't put the niggas up there that's getting paid under the table where, you know, when they go and tell niggas to calm down and a nigga gets shot by the police and they somehow probably end up getting a check. Don't put them up there. Put some real motherfuckers up there, man. Put some people that really, you know what I'm saying, that really give a damn.
So no Steve Harvey's.
Harvey can help too. He can put up the bread. Harvey can help. Harvey, you know, I heard Harvey does a lot of shit, man.
The reason I say Steve Harvey is he met with Donald Trump and they just recently asked him
I would meet with Trump.
How Trump was doing, and he said he's doing everything he said he would do to me.
I would meet with him. You know,
what would you tell him?
I said, look here, man, motherfuckers probably, for meeting with you, motherfuckers gonna call me a coon. I'm meeting with you because you want something. So I'm going to get a bad label for sitting down and talking with you. But here's what you're going to do. You're going to set some law up to give black folks some real money. You're not meeting for me for a reason. Why you want to meet me? Why you want to meet little old me? You want to meet me for a reason. So that means I'm valuable to you. But my people going to call me a coon for meeting with you. So here's what you're going to do. You know, you going to give, you going to set some shit up to where we gonna practice some group economics, and I'm gonna set up some IT certification training programs for black folks, and I'm gonna do, you know, I'm gonna do a bunch of shit for the community on those grounds. And if not, then I'm shit. That's it. You know.
You were saying you were gonna set up some IT things for the people.
Yeah.
I hear you got something like that going. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Oh, I'm working with a couple different nonprofits. I won't put them out there, but basically getting brothers, you know, trained and certified for Microsoft and Cisco and all of that type of stuff. Just because, you know, we need some type of economical structure in order to be able to compete. And that's why I said that, you know, if Steve went, you know,
Steve went?
Harvey.
Steve Harvey.
If Harvey went, I don't know what their conversation was. You know, I don't know what their conversation was. He probably wanted to pick his brain. My theory is don't never let nobody pick your brain for free. I hope he paid him. You know, if you gonna, you know, I hope he gave him something. But he probably wanted to see what he had to say or whatever. But you know, once again, I just got to go back to all these so-called these politicians. You know, we like to pick sides on who was who and who, regardless of what party it was. All of these parties have contributed into a very, very, very sadistic and detrimental pathway towards black folks' destruction. I don't give a fuck if you're a Democrat or Republican or who you voted for. Shit, the Democrats were started by the Klan.